it's clear that they have a really, really good cornerback, A.J. Terrell. Niners could have had him. But they took Javon Kinlaw instead. Jury's out. But with Terrell, is he going to be following Deebo Samuel? Does he play one side of the field? Because it seems like he could actually shut down whoever he covers.
That's a good question. I think they've put more on his plate this year. And, if you look at PFF or however you look, definitely has given up more yards than he did basically last year. He's had more big plays go against him. But if you watch those, he's been in really good coverage. Michael Thomas had two touchdowns against him for the Saints in game one. And a big physical receiver gets a perfect throw and makes a play. I don't care who's covering him. It doesn't matter. This is an offensive game. And that's kind of what's happened to him. It's not like he's way out of position. What's going on with him? No, guys have just made some plays. That happens. I don't know if they will use him to shadow Deebo, something like that. I think they would try more and bracket and zone him.
Okay.
Especially when Deebo's lining up all over the place. When he's standing in a shotgun next to Garoppolo as a running back, then what? You better have somebody ready to cover him on both sides and up the middle, because you can't.
And the biggest issue with Deebo is tackling him anyway.
Exactly. You can't spy him, but he's pretty physical. He'll get in there and hit some folks. I think he knocked himself silly in one of the games earlier this year. And then Casey Hayward is starting to play well. He was an old head brought in, and a very good upgrade over Fabian Moreau, who was just horrendous for the Falcons last year.
UCLA, poor guy.
Competent player on the other side.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what happened last week was the Niners ran the ball well against Carolina. Kittle had some catches early on, but Ayuk and Deebo really didn't do anything in the first half because J.C. Horn, I forget who the other corner is, but J.C. Horn was just dominating the 49ers. Then he left the game with a hip injury, and finally Ayuk started getting going. But as good as the Niners wide receivers are, I think A.J. Terrell might be in a class above him. So depending on how they use him, they might be able to take one of those guys out of the game.
A.J. Terrell's a building block for this team. There are a few. Basically, everybody on this Falcons team is either on a one-year deal or a rookie contract. That's just the way they've had to do it because of the salary cap hell they've had. Grant, they've only got $108 million on the field. So it's basically
really,
yeah.
Is that the league low?
In active contracts, it's only about $108 million. They've got
so
about
they're sort of in a purgatory right now.
Dead cap. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. They just got another $10 million dead cap hit when they moved Deion Jones. So everything on this team has been building to next year. So
you're a year away.
The Falcons are 2-3.
Okay,
but they have played really, really well.
They have,
considering they've got half a team.
Right. I mean, they went down to the wire with the Bucks. They beat the Browns. They beat the Seahawks. They went down to the wire with the Rams.
Yeah, and then they blew a lead against the Saints. So they've been in 5 one-score games so far, and they're 2-3.
Oh, I see. So the Niners just destroy. The Niners are coming off 2 double-digit wins, and I think at this point, Niner fans are expecting that every week. And you're saying this could be a little bit closer. I mean, that's the Falcons' pattern.
The 49ers' depth, we won't necessarily get into a prediction just yet, but the 49ers are a better roster, no doubt about it.
Of course.
But this Falcons team is stronger in the trenches than you saw last year. Last year I did a quick video based on, why do the Falcons struggle so much in the red zone? And I brought up a red zone series with the 49ers where they dropped 9 into coverage because the two defensive tackles basically stood up and dropped 3 yards back. So they're covering the short crossing routes. You rush two edges. Bosa, I can't remember who the other one was. It wasn't Armstead, but it was two edges coming in. And they get the sack with 2 guys. So if I can drop 9 into coverage,
and get the sack?
How the hell am I supposed to score?
Right. All right.
So this team will fight you. They're considerably better in the trenches on both sides of the ball, and I did not expect that. I really didn't. The beginning of the season, I picked 2-15. I said this team is going to be 2-15. They didn't change the offensive line or defensive line.
That's bold.
They lost some of their best players. And again, you've got $100 million of payroll versus 208 for everybody else.
That's true.
I said 2-15. Now they can play with anybody. They're not going to win all those games, obviously, but I see more 7-10, 8-9 than 2-15 by the time the season's over.